This is Street Connect, a project that I started to bring more purpose and connection into New York City life. And I do that by having conversations with strangers.
So are you from here then?
Am I from New York?
Yeah.
So originally I am not from New York, although I've been here for 13 years.
Okay.
So like I think at some point you can claim that you're
from
a New Yorker or whatever. I'm like a hardcore transplant. So I've been here for 13 years. I love the city, the energy of the city. I was dating who's now my husband when I moved here. And I was like, well, I'm not in love with New York. So like if I end up hating it and moving away, then fine, whatever. But I end up falling in love more with him and with the city. And he's still here.
The biggest thing for me moving here was from the Midwest is just like, well, first of all, I'm from Iowa, and New York City has almost 3 times the population as Iowa. Right. And just like Midwestern people are known for being like really nice, and just like having that not be the case here.
Do you feel like people are not nice here?
A little bit. So like, is it different if you've lived here for a long time that you don't really notice it?
I guess. I don't know. I feel like there's a huge diversity in like experiences here, that you can meet people that are like super nice and like willing to talk, and that you can also meet people who are like so used to being what's that thing, proselytized or whatever, that like they're not open to conversations. New York is a very missional, I think, always know where they're going and moving very quickly, that kind of in a bubble, don't want to be bothered. What do you feel like makes you uniquely you? Like, what are you about?
I'm a social worker, and I feel like a lot of life experiences kind of led up to that. I really have a passion to work with like at-risk youth, particularly at-risk youth that are involved with the juvenile justice system. And I feel like that's not something that everybody can work with. Right. And like living with my 4 other roommates this year has really shown me that like it's not the norm to really enjoy working with kids like that. Right. And just coming from a background where I can understand a little bit more about why those behaviors are there, I think makes me a little bit unique. And that's like, I don't know, that's what I'm really passionate about, is working with kids involved with juvenile justice. And, you know, I think they get a bad rap, and at the end of the day, they're still just kids, and that's how I come to a situation. Right. And I don't think a lot of people come to that mindset.
Or remember that.
Yeah.
You just mentioned twice that, like, coming from a particular background, like, made you more apt to be able to. Could you tell me
So I have an older brother who had mental health issues. So growing up and seeing that made me have more understanding and being more passionate towards working with like the youth age, like 11 to 17, kind of in that area. And I always said when I was growing up, I don't want to work with kids, I don't want to work with teenagers. And when I was put in my first placement, my internship in my undergraduate degree, I was like, I'm not going to like this. And I ended up really enjoying the work.
So it's like you realize your passion from being exposed to it a little bit.
Yeah. So that was kind of what, like, this whole year being in New York is, I've seen like kids in the Midwest, and I really wanted to see like, you know, where the problems are a little bit more chronic here and a little bit more like all stuck together.
Right.
So I just really wanted to see the difference. So
how has that impacted, or like what are you going to do with the information or the broadening of perspective, I guess?
Yeah, I think this year is going to be a good experience to be able to go and do my master's program, to be able to apply things a little bit more instead of just having like the theoretical knowledge of it and like the reality of what it is. Because you can have all these theories that you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do this when you meet this situation, but not all of the situations abide by those rules of the theory. So unless you're actually in the thick of it, you don't really know.